Will Ospreay says he's open to signing with WWE and relocating to the United States in the process. We got the ratings for Friday's episode of SmackDown on Fox and Rampage on TNT. Cody Rhodes' match for Crown Jewel has now been confirmed. Nick Aldis appears on Monday Night Raw, going face-to-face with the Raw General Manager Adam Pearce. Logan Paul and Dominic Mysterio share a WWE ring together on Raw on Monday night. Becky Lynch retains the NXT Women's Championship. The Alpha Academy has a brand new member. WWE has opened up the entire arena for Survivor Series as demand for tickets just increase. Ivar is the one true warrior in a vignette on Raw last night. Tegan Nox reportedly is injured, according to Natalya. Bianca Belair is set for SmackDown on Friday, and several matches are announced for Raw next week. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about Will Ospreay, as he reportedly has hired Barry Bloom as his agent to negotiate his next professional wrestling contract amid his contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling expiring in February next year. And reportedly, all options are on the table, including WWE. Will Ospreay is reportedly open to the idea of joining World Wrestling Entertainment. The 30-year-old's New Japan Pro Wrestling contract expires in February of next year, and he recently told Sports Illustrated that he will explore every single option when it does. Ospreay was recently asked by Metro about the possibility of him joining WWE. Quote, we have spoke about it more. I'm now open to the idea of stretching myself out there a little bit, Ospreay responded. As age has become more apparent to me and my body is hurting more and more, I'm open to all avenues. I've had a lot of talks with my friends about this, and I've spoke to the missus. Ospreay also mentioned that he and his significant other are open to possibly relocating to the United States. Quote, although we've spent so much money on our new kitchen, we are open to the idea of relocating to the United States. It's on the table, that's all I can really say, he added. That means I'm open to all options going forward. Ospreay also addressed the possibility of wrestling Seth Rollins in WWE. The two were involved in a brief spat in 2019 when Rollins posted, "Find anyone else alive who does what I do as well as I do it, as often as I do it. You can't," to Twitter. In a since deleted post, Ospreay responded, writing, quote, "I'm alive." Rollins later apologized for his comments. Quote, so the Seth thing does intrigue me quite a lot. I've heard him say in a promo, he's 100% the best in the world, Ospreay continued. My 50% is the best in the world, so if you actually got me at 100%, I think you'd drown in these waters, mate. Still, Ospreay understands that wrestling in WWE would be unlike what he is used to. Quote, I've never had the machine behind me. I've never had guys tell me to walk this way, talk this way, look at the hard cam at all times, he said. I've always done things on my own. I've gambled by myself, and everything I've ever done has been off my own back. Of course, we spoke about this yesterday. PW Insider is reporting that Ospreay has hired agent Barry Bloom to represent him in his next rounds of negotiations. Fightful later added that Ospreay hired Bloom months ago. Quote, so everything is motivated towards not only my family, but I want to feel like a wrestler. I feel like a lot of people have give up on that side. They just want the money, he added. I understand that, I really do. But if I sacrifice who I am, then I don't think anything I do is authentic. So, where do you think Will Ospreay will end up? Do you think he'll re-sign with New Japan Pro Wrestling? Do you think he'll sign with WWE and relocate to the United States? Do you think he'll go to AEW? Do you think he could go somewhere like Impact Wrestling and stick with New Japan Pro Wrestling? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments section below. Now we got the ratings for Friday's episode of SmackDown. An interesting decline in the viewership considering the week prior was the season premiere of the show on Fox. Despite being somewhat of a lame duck show now on Fox due to its deal to move back to the USA Network next year, SmackDown has continued to perform strongly on Friday nights, including drawing 2.417 million total viewers just a week ago for its season premiere on the network. Alas, with said premiere now a distant memory, it appears SmackDown wasn't quite able to maintain that momentum without the presence of the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. WrestleNomics reports that the October 20th episode of SmackDown drew 2.253 million total viewers, as well as a 0.59 rating in the key 18 to 49 demographic. Both numbers are down from the series premiere, with the total viewers dropping 7%, while the 18 to 49 showed a drop of 5% from last week's 0.62 rating. SmackDown would also see small declines in other demos, though the show did see a 5% increase in females aged 18 to 34. Quarter hours throughout the show were a bit of a roller coaster, with the opening segment, an LA Knight Paul Heyman promo, drawing a solid 2.383 million viewers and a 0.61 in the 18 to 49. Quarters 2 and 3 would show significant drops, with total viewers dropping as low as 2.090 million in Q3 and 18 to 49 going down to a 0.54. The low point of the show in both categories. Things would rise after that, however, with the high point coming in Q5, which drew 2.465 million and a 0.65 in the 18 to 49 for a backstage segment featuring Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, as well as an in-ring promo from Logan Paul. The final 3 quarters would see a viewership dip again, with the main event between Io Sky and Charlotte Flair drawing 2.261 million viewers and a 0.59 in the 18 to 49, up 2% in total viewers and down 1% in the 18 to 49 from Q7. So let me know your thoughts about the ratings for SmackDown in the comment section below. Let's talk about the ratings for AEW Rampage. Of course, it was the big show featuring the AEW debut of Mystico, and Friday's episode of AEW Rampage averaged 342,000 viewers on TNT, which is down 16% from the previous week, which had the benefit of an NBA preseason lead-in. It's the lowest audience total for the show since September 22nd. Rampage, which featured CMLL star Mystico making his AEW debut against Rocky Romero, drew a 0.11 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. That's down 21.4% from last week and ties the second lowest rating the show has done since July 28. Rampage went head-to-head with an MLB NLCS playoff game on TBS that topped all of television, with nearly 5.4 million viewers and a 1.30 rating in the 1849 demographic. As compared to the same week in 2022, Rampage was down 28.8% in overall audience and down 15.4% in the 18 to 49 demographic. So certainly Rampage continues to experience year-upon-year total viewership loss and also 18 to 49 decline as well. Cody Rhodes' match for Crown Jewel has been confirmed after last night's edition of Monday Night Raw, after he and tag team partner main event Jey Uso lost the undisputed tag team championships to Finn Balor and Damian Priest on last week's episode of Raw. Cody Rhodes showed up Monday night looking to exact some revenge. He didn't get his wish immediately, but he still will have the opportunity to at Crown Jewel in a one-on-one matchup against Damian Priest a week from Saturday. Rhodes hit the ring just as Balor and Priest were opening the show, asking the tag team champions how they feel being the ones being interrupted for once. Noted that he'd come to talk to the leader of Judgment Day and lamenting the fact that Rhea Ripley wasn't around, he told Balor and Priest that she's their mammy too. Irked by this assertion, Priest recapped the damage Judgment Day did to the American Nightmare the week before, then challenged him to a match at Crown Jewel, which Rhodes quickly accepted. But that wouldn't be the end of their interactions for the evening, as the rest of the Judgment Day hit the ring, ultimately resulting in a leg injury for Rhodes after Priest trapped his ankle in one chair and smashed it with another. Rhodes was favouring the ankle following the commercial break, so it appears he may not head into the premium live event at 100%, tipping the scales a bit for Senior Money in the Bank. This will mark the second singles match between Rhodes and Priest. Their first came in a Raw main event back in June, with Rhodes prevailing. In fact, until last week's tag team title victory, Priest had never defeated Rhodes in any kind of match. Rhodes also has defeated Priest stablemates Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor twice and 3 times respectively in 2023 singles competition. So there you go. Now, when it comes to this ankle injury, Michael Cole announced later on during the broadcast on Raw that he had suffered indeed a, quote, ankle injury, but the extent of the injury wasn't confirmed. So it looks like certainly they're going to be playing up this as an angle heading into Crown Jewel. Now, Nick Aldis, the SmackDown general manager, appeared on Raw Monday night. Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce continued their game of tit for tat as the general managers of Raw and SmackDown. On the October 23rd episode of Raw, WWE SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis appeared in the Raw general manager Adam Pearce's office to apologize to Pearce for ejecting him and Jey Uso from the October 20 edition of SmackDown. As a gesture of goodwill, Pearce invited Aldis to stay for the rest of the night to see how Raw is run. Later on in the episode, Pearce spotted Aldis talking to Monday Night Raw superstars Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Even though Aldis swears it was just a friendly conversation, he also quickly decided to depart the venue to make things easy on Adam Pearce. Now, this is clearly more teasers for maybe some brand supremacy or something like that in the future. What do you make of this, and where do you think they're headed when it comes to the Raw versus SmackDown, and particularly these dueling general managers? Now, Logan Paul appeared on Monday Night Raw last night, and a truly unholy alliance seems to have been struck on last night's episode of Raw when Logan Paul and none other than the NXT North American champion Dominic Mysterio came together. While Logan Paul took pause to gloat about getting his former boxing opponent Dylan Dennis fired, of course being released from Bellator, he then turned his attention to his Crown Jewel 2023 opponent, Rey Mysterio. However, discussing Rey summoned his son Dominic Mysterio, but as the crowd showered him in boos, Logan empathized with him, noting that they both overcame adversity to get where they are today. Dom having succeeded in spite of his deadbeat dad, and Paul from Ohio, he felt they had things in common. Logan then addressed ring announcer Samantha Irvin, asking her to come into the ring, alluding to wanting to apologize to her and thank her for being professional when she had to announce him as the winner when he beat her fiancé Ricochet at SummerSlam. However, once she was in the ring, Logan Paul attempted to coerce Samantha Irvin into announcing him as the new United States champion ahead of his match against Rey Mysterio for the title at Crown Jewel. So, didn't really happen, and his rationale was to give the crowd a little sneak preview of what will happen on Saturday, November 4th. However, Ricochet appeared from out of nowhere to jump Paul mid-harassment with an ensuing brawl which saw Dominic Mysterio and Logan Paul leaving together and set up a Dominic versus Ricochet match for next week. Michael Cole described the pair as perhaps the most despised duo on the planet as they left together. Becky Lynch is still the NXT Women's Champion after retaining her championship last night on Raw. Just like she did 2 weeks ago, Becky Lynch has once again successfully retained her NXT Women's Championship on Raw, this time against former NXT Women's Champion Indy Hartwell. Lynch won the match after making Hartwell tap out to the disarm her submission. It was the first ever match between Lynch and Hartwell, and though they had participated previously in the 2023 Women's Royal Rumble match, Lynch has been the NXT Women's Champion since the September 12th episode of NXT when she defeated Tiffany Stratton. Despite her victory, Lynch's immediate title troubles aren't over by any stretch of the imagination. Just 24 hours after this victory, Becky Lynch will defend her title again on tonight's special episode of NXT, that being Night 1 of Halloween Havoc against Lyra Valkyria. Lynch's fellow Irish woman had to defeat both Hartwell and Roxanne Perez on the October 3rd episode of NXT for the right to Tuesday's title shot. Valkyria was also in the Raw crowd on Monday, and Lynch took the time to acknowledge her next challenger following the victory. Of course, as I mentioned, that's going to be taking place tonight on NXT Halloween Havoc. Now, the Alpha Academy has a brand new member in Akira Tozawa. Yes, Akira Tozawa's training is underway. On the October 16 episode of Raw, Akira Tozawa was featured in a backstage segment with the Alpha Academy. His link up to the group was then solidified in a digital exclusive ahead of last night's episode of Raw. Gable initially dismissed him as he pointed out that Tozawa was not actually a member of the Alpha Academy. However, after Tozawa showcased some dance move, Gable said he had some potential, and he told Otis to give the new junior cadets an Alpha Academy shirt. Tozawa then accompanied Alpha Academy to the ring for their match later on in the show. Despite Tozawa's presence, Alpha Academy came out on the losing side of their showdown with the New Day. Later on in the show, Akira Tozawa challenged Bronson Reed to a match, and the powerhouse dominated him despite the beginning of his Alpha Academy training. Tozawa made his way backstage, and he received some positive feedback from Chad Gable and Otis. The New Day also put him over, as they said he still was a champion in their book. They gave him a Dallas Cowboys WWE Championship to show they were impressed. DIY showed up and noted that the Raw Tag Team division was thriving. So Akira Tozawa looks to be a junior cadet moving forward. What are your thoughts on Tozawa being the latest member of Alpha Academy? Now, a bit of an update when it comes to Survivor Series. The demand for Survivor Series tickets continues just to thrive and thrive. WWE is on an absolute hot streak when it comes to ticket sales at the moment. As previously reported, WWE recently released more tickets for their Survivor Series 2023 event in Chicago on November 25th due to event demand. It looks like the company has opened up even more seats to accommodate the fans who want to be at the show live. WrestleTix reports that WWE has added the last 4 available sections and is now fully open for this year's Survivor Series at the Allstate Arena in Chicago, Illinois. The new setup and configuration now accommodates 16,860 seats, with 15,128 tickets distributed at this time. The new setup will likely feature the smaller entryway, similar to those used at Backlash in Puerto Rico and Money in the Bank in London earlier this year. Of course, they were total sellouts, and it looks like Survivor Series most likely could be heading in the same direction. There has been a lot of speculation about War Games potentially being featured on the show. It's been recently reported that a men's War Games match was indeed planned planned for it. One of the bigger questions surrounding the show involves CM Punk and whether he's going to make his WWE return after being fired by AEW earlier this year on September 2nd. Of course, the latest report did note that WWE had rejected the opportunity to bring back Punk. He was also spotted at Impact Wrestling tapings over the weekend, but of course, you never know. Anything's possible in the world of World Wrestling Entertainment, certainly. Now, Ivar, we spoke previously about WWE being very happy with Ivar's singles matches recently, and it looks like Ivar could be getting a singles push in WWE moving forward, according to this vignette last night on Raw. Ivar was front and center in a Viking ceremony that was featured in a vignette on the October 23rd episode of Monday Night Raw. The ceremony was led by Valhalla, and she declared him, quote, the one true warrior, saying that it was his time to lead them into the future. Quote, the gods smiled upon a great warrior, a warrior that feasts on pain and makes the chaos serve him. When the warrior has proven his worth, he becomes a god walking amongst men. With the wisdom of Odin and the power of Thor, now is your time to lead us into the future. All will tremble at the feet of the one true warrior, Ivar, Valhalla said in the vignette. Of course, as I mentioned, it had been previously reported that WWE was very happy with Ivar's recent singles matches against the likes of Kofi Kingston, so this could be a continuation of them being very happy with Ivar and actually featuring more in singles competition. Now, Tegan Nox reportedly has picked up an injury. That's according to Natalya last night on Raw. Tegan Nox is dealing with an injury, according to the former women's champion. Tegan Nox competed on the October 17 episode of NXT, and she lost to Lyra Valkyria due to a distraction by WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Nox and Natalya brawled with Green and Niven after the match. During a backstage segment on the October 23rd episode of Raw, Candice LeRae asked Natalya about Nox. Natalya stated that Nox got hurt at NXT, but she'll be back very soon. Now, additional details were not provided, so the nature of Nox's injury is unclear. It's not known when Nox will return to WWE television. Later in the show, Natalya teamed up with Nikki Cross to face the Women's Tag Team Champions Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Shortly after the match started, though, Cross walked out on Natalya. Green and Niven then picked up the victory. Nox, of course, has been featured on Raw in recent weeks. She defeated Natalya on the September 25th episode of Raw, and she picked up victories against Green on October 2nd. Becky Lynch, of course, went on to defeat Nox to retain the NXT Women's Championship on the October 9 episode of the Red Brand. So best wishes go out to Tegan Nox. If we get any more details about her injury moving forward, we'll let you know. Now, Bianca Belair has been advertised for this coming week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Of course, SmackDown won't be taking place on Fox this week. It'll be moved to FS1. Therefore, we are expecting probably a little bit of a lower rating. In addition to that, it is expected that next week's episode of SmackDown is going to be taped as well, headed before they head to Saudi Arabia too. So Bianca Belair is indeed back on the blue brand. WWE has announced that Bianca Belair will be part of the October 27 episode of SmackDown after she made her return last week, saving Charlotte Flair from the devastating attack of Damage Control. Of course, that was after Io Sky had her match as well. Finally, several matches and segments have been announced for the upcoming episode of Raw next week. Of course, it's going to be a special Halloween-themed episode of Monday Night Raw. The show is going to feature the likes of Seth Rollins versus JD McDonough, DIY versus Imperium. Dominic Mysterio, of course, as we mentioned, is going to have his match against Ricochet, as well as several other matches being announced for the show on the Red Brand. Of course, as I mentioned, it's going to be taking place one day before Halloween, so you can see this special Halloween featured or inspired match graphics as well. So there you go. But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.